Section 20 of Birds, Volume 2, Number 5, November 1897. Recorded for LibriVox.org by M. Lee. The Lazuli Bunting. The joy is great of him who strays in shady woods on summer days. Maurice Thompson. In Colorado and Arizona, the lazuli painted finch, as it is called, is common, while in California it is very abundant, being in fact generally distributed throughout the West, and along the Pacific coast it is found as far north as Puget Sound during the summer. Davy says it replaces the indigo bunting, see Birds, Volume 1, page 174, from the plains to the Pacific, being found in all suitable localities. The nest is usually built in a bush or in the lower limbs of trees, a few feet from the ground. Fine strips of bark, small twigs, grasses, and hair are used in preparing it for the 4 tiny, light bluish-green eggs, which readily fade when exposed to light. The eggs so closely resemble those of the bluebird as to not to be distinguishable with certainty. The nest is an inartistic one for a bird of gay plumage. From Florence A. Merriam's charming book, A Birding on a Bronco, we select a description of the pretty manners of this attractive bird. She says, "While waiting for the woodpeckers one day, I saw a small brownish bird flying busily back and forth to some green weeds. She was joined by her mate, a handsome blue lazuli bunting, even more beautiful than our lovely indigo, and he flew beside her full of life and joy. He lit on the side of a cockle stem, and on the instant caught sight of me. Alas! He seemed suddenly turned to stone. He held on to that stalk as if his little legs had been bars of iron, and I a devouring monster. When he had collected his wits enough to fly off, instead of the careless gay flight with which he had come out through the open air, he timidly kept low within the cockle field, and making a circuitous way through the high stalks. He could be afraid of me if he liked, I thought, for after a certain amount of suspicion an innocent person gets resentful. At any rate, I was going to see that nest. Creeping up cautiously when the mother bird was away, so as not to scare her, and carefully parting the mallows, I looked in. Yes, there it was, a beautiful little sage-green nest of old grass laid in a coil. I felt as pleased as if having a right to share in the family happiness. After that, I watched the small worker gather material with new interest, knowing where she was going to put it. She worked fast, but did not take the first thing she found by any means. With a flit of the wings, she went in nervous haste from cockle to cockle, looking eagerly about her. Jumping down to the ground, she picked up a bit of grass, threw it down dissatisfied, and turned away like a person looking for something. At last she lit on the side of a thistle, and tweaking out a fiber, flew with it to the nest. A month after the first encounter with the father lazuli, I found him looking at me around the corner of a cockle-stalk, and in passing back again caught him singing full tilt, though his bill was full of insects. After we had turned our backs, I looked over my shoulder and had the satisfaction of seeing him take his beakful to the nest. You couldn't help admiring him, for though not a warrior who would snap his bill over the head of an enemy of his home, he had a gallant holiday air with his blue coat and merry song, and you felt sure his little brown mate would get cheer and courage enough from his presence to make family dangers appear less frightful. End of section 20. This recording is in the public domain.